going on, guys? It's a cold winter balmy day, and we're going without the windshield on the Frankenglide, the 1996 FLSTN, and we're going to a chopper show today, one that's in town at the Shovelhead Lounge, hosted by my good man Yogi. So I get to stay local, going 15 minutes, so I figured, who needs the windshield? Well, let's hope she starts. Let's check this. Pull out the choke, make sure we're neutral, give it a couple squirts, and let's see what happens. Success. All right. Yeah, I like riding without the windshield. This is freaking awesome. Love these convertible bikes like the Road King and the Heritage, where you just pop off the windshield and enjoy the breeze, even though it's deep winter here in Florida. Yeah, sorry guys up north. I feel you. Anyhow, today we're heading over to Yogi's bike show because I want to know how to build a chopper, and I want to get some ideas on what it's going to take to build a chopper piece by piece. I mean, buy each piece separately. And that's what these bike shows are known for. These guys, they go out and they find parts wherever and they attach them to their bikes. Yeah, I want to make it safe, I want to make it cool, but you know, I don't have J&P Cycles budget. And if you saw the recent bike that Patrick dropped with the Indian Larry frame, the twisted frame, and all the cool go fast parts, I mean, that would be awesome. You know, a mix of modern and old, but you know, that's a $20,000 plus build right there easily. I mean, that Baker 6-4 transmission is a pretty penny by itself. So, you know, I'm not talking about that kind of money. I'm talking about, you know, entry-level moto vlogger money on a budget. And what can I find? And what are people doing out there to make cool bikes? Because I know you don't need to spend a lot of money to have a ride that you built by hand and looks cool. So that's today's task. And we're gonna roll up here on Yogi's bike show and see if we can talk to some builders and maybe bump into a couple friends, who knows? It's a cool bike show. It's only a few minutes from my house, you know, maybe 10-15 minutes. And it's the only bike show that I know of that's been near my house. Everything else has been like an hour or so away. So, yeah, it looks like there's some decent amount of people here. Nice. Let's check it out.
Moto showed me this cool chopper here, operated by Corey. He's going to walk us through it. It's really badass. Got some really cool stuff on it.
This is my Shovelhead. It's kind of based on the old G shit, but it is all newer stuff. It's Deltron case, kick only, SNS internals. It's a 103-inch stroker. I started with a Santa Fe rigid frame. Wanted it bright, wanted it poppy, something that like not a lot of people are doing. I envisioned this years ago, so now that I'm doing it, it's like, well shit, now people are doing bright pink bikes. It's like it's a thing now. I thought I was cool, but I always wanted a pink bike. So I started with that. I just used what I had. I didn't really outsource a whole lot of things. I had just acquired some stuff that had been laying around from previous projects or whatever. I haven't built a bike before completely. This is my first one.
That's what choppers are all about, right? You take a little bit of this, you take a little bit of that.
Looking at it, I can see a bunch of other ideas that I had that didn't work, but I incorporated them in this build, which I'm happy with.
But what you got here is just, to me, it's mind-blowing. All these different colors are coming together, and you get a little bit, I mean, the tail lights are freaking awesome.
So all of these down here are just reflectors, but, well, they look cool, I think, and hopefully when I'm in the dark, you can see me behind me maybe a little bit, but I don't have running lights, so it's not exactly safe. You know, have all your lights and stuff that you need so you're seen at night. But I did wire, this is kind of the old school lights that you see, but I put an LED light in there. When I do apply the brakes, it flashes and then it holds steady, so at least there's something back there. I know that I can just, you know, hop on and off, so it gives it something. The tank is a tank that my buddy he ordered a new tank. He's like, hey, I have a tank, do you want it? I go, yeah, because I don't want to buy one. So that's why I have that tank. The graphics my buddy gave me, because he had a set laying around. I'm like, yeah, they're brass. I have some brass stuff, like it'll work. The fairing came off of a Sportster that had been floating around. I go, yeah, no, it'll look good. I'll make it work. But when you start doing that, you realize, oh shit, maybe it's not going to work. But then you go, well, that's what choppers are. You make it work. Like when you really look at it, it does look cool, but it's not well done. It's just like kind of garage slapped together and homemade, which is that's what I like. I think it's cool.
But to me, when I'm looking at it, it looks like it has a personality. I mean, there's humor mixed in with this build. Like if I look at the gas cap.
That was an old belt buckle that I found out picking. My girl does some vintage resale stuff, so we go out all over the state, and I like to find things like, ooh, I'm going to incorporate that. I think it's neat. This gas cap was originally a different gas cap that I made. I had floated some stuff in resin. It didn't work out good, but I figured, well, I'll just grinder smooth, flatten the belt buckle, get rid of the stuff, and seat it in there. And now I'm like, I really like it because the brass plays off of some other stuff that's on there. I like magnets. I like being able to like take this off and put it on a couple different places. I can put it on the fork up here if I want to.
So it's like the shelf on an elf deal. It just changes locations by the day.
I don't know. I was just like, I want to incorporate that, but maybe I don't want it permanent. Maybe I don't like it. You know, I don't know. It's just, I like goofy shit. I like different stuff, things that, you know, maybe other people aren't doing.
Then what's this right here?
Well, that's just my headlights. When I originally got this tree, all the lights was already part of it, and it was already wired up right there. And I was originally going to change everything, and I thought, you know what, the hole's there. I kind of like the switch. It's tactile. I'm just going to leave it. So I just left it up there, and it's just basically a high-low beam, which is okay. This up here is nothing. Really, it's just in case I lose something back here, because these are actually holding on the mud flap, and they are legit old-school vintage. These ones I found at a yard sale for like 25 cents. Wow. I was pretty stoked. I was like, those are going to look great on there.
And what kind of rake do you have on this?
You know, I don't know the geometry of what the frame was originally. This is a 10 over front end.
To me, it looks just right.
It feels good. I thought putting a 10 over would do so much more to it, but it really doesn't. The stance is okay. It fits me well. When it raised it up so much that I'm kind of tucked into the bike and sitting in it.
Right.
I did the little high-mid footrest because it had no controls. I didn't want to buy anything. So I had some cold roll and just figured I could make that little high-mid that people do. I was like, I could probably bend that and make that happen. So again, my buddy Robert that hooked me up with the tank, he came over and welded. I don't have a welder at the house. So we made, you know, the controls, or the footrest. They're not controls by any means, but, you know, so just took a plate. I just had the bar, and then I thought, hey, we'll make a little D here and put it here. It's actually a P for foot, P-H-O-O-T, so that's where my foot goes right there. Bunch of little knickknacks over. Pretty much any hole I had, I wanted to fill or utilize or do something with. I like putting things in holes. Just this one down here, it's like, oh, I cut up a piece of colored glass. I had some lenses from a pool light job that I did, so I had a bunch of colored lenses. So I filled the hard end with blue, did this little circle down there. Just, you know, goofy shit, sitting in the garage looking at stuff, thinking, oh, I want to make that look like something. Same with these, like just resin pouring. The little shifter I used to put a little galaxy in there.
Is this the Galaxy from Men in Black?
I guess so, yeah. It's like that cat's...
right, exactly. That's awesome.
Just what I have. It's like whatever I have in the toolbox. I'm like, I need a little... I used to just use a bolt, you know? You would just put a bolt through there. I was like, I got something cooler than a bolt, so let's do that. And then that thing swivels. Neat. Let's put resin in it.
That's what I find cool about choppers. You can take your personality, whatever in your head, and it just comes out, and bam.
Bam. Emerald Lagasse, that bitch.
Bam, 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 bam.
If you ever go to Jimmy John's, they make great sandwiches, and they have a little chalkboard, and they have magnets. But they let you take the magnets.
That's a magnet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't forget your pickle. Because I don't like committing to stuff, you know. That's why I was like, oh, the magnets are cool. I can toss them on there and then not use them.
Well, I want to thank Corey. It's awesome running us through the bike. It's really a unique bike, and I haven't seen anything like it. You probably will never see anything like this. It all came from that head right there. here with Austin, and I found this cool ass sporty chop, and it might be for sale.
It actually is for sale. So right now, probably before you see this video, it's actually up on Facebook Marketplace.
If it's still there on Facebook Marketplace, buy this because it hasn't been sold by now. It's insane.
Thank you.
But he's going to run us through this cool build. And how long have you had it?
So I've had this bike for just a little over a year right now, and so I've done absolutely everything, including paint, on this bike. So it's got a freshly rebuilt 1275 kit. It's got the TC Bros rear rigid frame kit on it, 6 overs, but with the frame kit, it makes it about an 8.5. So it's got a Frisco tank, and it's got all the goods, all the chrome and all the flake, anything you can want.
Now I see that you got your travel bag, you got your Kiriakin bag.
Yep.
And how much in that bag is tools?
Pretty much all of it. So it's tools, gas, and a jacket, and that's pretty much all I carry around.
Right. Let's talk about the engine.
So the engine, it's a stock bottom 883. It's been rebuilt with the 1275 kit. It's got the 10.5-to-1 compression Wiseco pistons. So it's a 1275, and pretty much everything else is stock. The carb's been rebuilt, so it is the original CV carb from Harley. And honestly, it's turnkey, ready to run, and it can go anywhere across Florida. I've gone down to Melbourne, Fort Lauderdale, and it just rides.
And looking at the pipes, looks like straight pipes.
Yeah, so it's full straight. So it's from TC Bros, so it's their straight off shotgun style pipes, and honestly, it sounds really wicked.
Tell me about the paint.
The paint, honestly, it was my first time painting. So it's a full metal flake. So it started with a silver base. Went with a metal silver flake with 35 hex. So it's really large flake, and it went over with about 5 or 6 different coats of candy.
Awesome. So I got a feeling that in the near future we're going to see one of your builds at Willie's Tropical Tattoo Chopper Time.
Yep.
You're seeing the very beginning of it, and you saw it here first.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Good times at Yogi's Bike Show. Got a lot of good ideas that I could do for a chopper. The problem is I don't know where to start. Do I start with the frame? Do I start with the engine? And what engine do I put in? Do I put in a Shovelhead? Do I put in an Evo? I want to do it affordably, or just take more time to do it if I find out that I just can't do it affordably and to do it the way I want to. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. What power plant should I be looking at? I don't think I want to do a Ironhead Sportster build or an Evo Sportster build. I have a Sportster, and I just think if I built that chopper out of an Ironhead, I just would immediately want to get a big twin. So I'm going to start with the big twin. Shovelhead engines are going for what panheads used to go for from my understanding, 10-15 years ago. So the cool factor is in Shovelhead, but I like Evo. I like how they sound. I like that reliability too. So, weighing towards Evo, but I'm open to Shovelhead. And then what frame? Swing arm frame, and then hardtail it with a hardtail kit. Is there anybody know any kits out there that are decent? So down in the comments below, if anybody's built a chopper, or you're in my position where you've been studying up and looking for all the different parts, what have you found that would be cool? It's a clean slate. And then where do you look for these parts? Do you go to the swap meets? Do you buy a donor bike, or do you just start raw and just buy the frame, buy the engine? Or should you start with a donor bike? Like I saw this 4-speed last year for 4-speed kick, 1986 Y-Glide, and it's for sale right now, and it's really inexpensive. Maybe I should buy that and then get a rear end that's rigid and get it welded onto the frame and maybe start from there. I don't know, I'm all over the place, but let me know down in the comments what you think I should do for engine. Should I use a donor bike, or should I piece it together part by part? I guess some of this is how connected you are to the build and how you want to do the build. But I also want to ride, so I want a rider. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think about it, what you guys are thinking, and post that down in the comments, and maybe I can use some of your suggestions to help build this bike together with you and me. Build the chopper together. Sounds like fun, right? All right, guys, thanks for coming along on this one. And if you like this video about choppers, you're gonna love the next one. It's me and the Kenny Quest Show correspondents, and we hit Willie's Tropical Tattoo, chopper time, and we asked some bike builders what makes a chopper and what makes a bobber a bobber. It's a cool episode with some high-profile bike builders. I'm Kenny Quest. Keep the shiny side up, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.